the person at the center. What is the ecological theory? The ecological systems theory was formulated to help explain how the qualities of an individual is ingrained and influenced in his or her environment, how their interactions and decision making influences how they will develop and grow in multiple environments. An individual can find themselves deeply rooted in different levels of ecosystems, starting from the home system, moving outwardly to the school system, and finally expanding not only into culture but also society. Each of these encounters and interactions influences each other in every aspect of a person's life. What constitutes this theory? These levels range from smaller proximal settings in which individuals directly interact to larger distal settings that indirectly influence development. The various levels within ecological systems theory are often presented graphically as a series of four systems nested around a focal individual like a set of concentric circles. Considering organized out-of-school activities. As part of a use, ecological helps elucidate the particular features of activity settings that can promote positive, healthy development and how relations between activity and other settings contribute to the developmental process. Next, each level of the ecological systems is described using associated research on out-of-school activities. Yuri Bronfenbrenner. Bronfenbrenner believed that a person's development was affected by everything in their surrounding environment. He divided the person's environment into 5 different categories: the microsystem, the mesosystem, the exosystem, the macrosystem, and the chronosystem. The microsystem. The microsystem is the setting in which everyone has direct social interactions with family, friends, classmates, teachers, neighbors, and other people. The theory states that people are not mere recipients of these experiences they have when socializing with other individuals in the microsystem environment, but they are contributing to the construction of such environment. For example, a child's parents may affect his beliefs and behavior. However, the child also affects the behavior and beliefs of the parent. Bronfenbrenner calls this bidirectional influences, and he shows how they occur among all levels of the environment. The mesosystem. The mesosystem consists of the relationships between the microsystem in one's life. This means that one's family experiences may be related to their school's involvement. For instance, a child that was rejected by the parent may have problems interacting with their peers. They feel that they will be rejected too and tend to stay on the safe side. They will distance themselves from their peers and withdraw from society, so they will not get hurt anymore. The interaction between the parent and child affects the interaction between the child and their peers. The exosystem. The exosystem is a setting in which there is a link between the context where the person does not have any active role and the context wherein is actively participating. For example, relationships between a parent and a child may be affected by the parent's working environment. Stress level that increases in the parent's working environment will result in hot temper while communicating with the child, and the relationship will turn out badly. This will directly affect the child even though the child does not exist in the working environment of the parent. The macrosystem. The macrosystem setting is the authentic culture of an individual. The national frameworks involves the socio-economic status of the person and his or her family, their ethnicity or race, and living in a still developing or a third world country. The difference in cultural background of an individual will lead to a different interpretation of the situation. For example, is it legal to have a slave? Some cultures accepted slavery and is not legal for them, but some may have different views. They may view that having a slave is against the law and the act shall be demolished. The varies based on cultural background and cultural experiences. The chronosystem. The chronosystem consists of the changes and alterations in one's lifetime. This may also involve the social historical circumstances that may impact a person. For instance, the marriage of a child's parents that end on a bad note and it results in a divorce. It may affect the child psychologically. They may not believe marriage as they believe it when the marriage ends on a bad note, like what happened to their parents. They'll find it hard to believe on the other half, and this will result in increasing population of unmarried individuals. Critiquing the ecological theory. Recent studies show that scholars have challenged the concept of ecological systems theory. The systems are represented as an arrangement, each contained within the next. However, may not be the precise way to theorize the interrelatedness of the systems. For example, out-of-school activities represent a microsystem, and the policy surrounding funding the allocation for out-of-school activities is the exosystem. For an ecological systems theory perspective, activities would be conceptualized as a subset of activity policy. Conversely, a network approach would conceptualize this as two distinct systems, arising in distinct settings, one that contains the focal individual and one that does not, that influences each other through the patterns of social interactions among individuals directly and indirectly involved in the two systems. The later network approach shifts the focus away from the place where social interactions occur. The activity is the microsystem, to the individual engaged in social interactions with the place. The setting of the relationship between individuals with the activity is the microsystem. The network approach has been argued to more accurately represent the complex overlapping among individuals' ecological environments. Responsibilities. Holding each other accountable is a duty to others, especially those who help to shape our identities and environments. Not only because of the relational influence we have with one another, which emphasizes what we have done or contributed to someone else's environment, which also hinges on the notion that we as human beings with intersecting social systems and ecosystems are so thoroughly relational that we risk harming ourselves and potentially harming others in the process of our own selfishness, purposes, goals, influences, behaviors, and decision making. So in conclusion, ecological systems theories focuses on the ways in which give and take exchanges between the micro, meso, exo, macro, and chronosystem that influences the development of children into adulthood. Furthermore, the theory entails the more interactions and relationships forms in the process that occur between the early stages of childhood to adulthood is significantly impacted by one's environment, peers, co-workers, community, family, and friends. What kind of adjustments do people need to make within the community to have better ethical and moral standards? How can us as a whole implement these changes? And finally, in what ways can we influence the generation to be better than the prior generations before them?